Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be baking some delicious turkey Italian meatballs. And you guys, I promise you're gonna love these. They're super easy to make. They don't take long at all, and they're very versatile. You can make meatball sandwiches. You can put them over pasta, put them over zucchini noodles if you're trying to eat healthier like me. So this is definitely a recipe that you're going to want to have in your recipe bank. So let's go ahead and get started baking these delicious meatballs. So guys, you only need a few ingredients to make this. First, we're going to start with a pound of ground turkey Italian sausage. And then we're going to use a jar of Prego spaghetti sauce. And then I have 1 egg, a half a cup of Italian breadcrumbs, 1 teaspoon each of garlic powder and onion powder in here, and then 1/2 cup of shredded, or you could do grated Parmesan cheese. Additionally, I have this delicious Emerald's Italian seasoning that I put in everything that I make Italian because it is so good and it gives it so much bam, as he would say. And this is definitely something you want to keep in your cabinet. And then optional, I have a pack of mozzarella slices. This is optional because, and I'll tell you more about this later, you can put this on top, which is preferred if you're going to do like a sandwich or something. But if you want to stay healthy and of course do just your meatballs on top of zucchini noodles or some wheat pasta, then you might want to leave this out. So I'm just going to set that to the side. So yeah, guys, just a few ingredients, what you see here. So guys, of course, I'm going to link all the ingredients in the description box below. So let's tie up our hair and go ahead and get ready and start baking. Or cooking. Well, technically it is baking. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that your oven is on and preheating at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And then you want to line a baking sheet or cookie sheet, 11 by 13 is fine, with parchment paper. And then just lightly spray that over with some non-stick cooking spray. You don't have to do that. That's the whole purpose of parchment, but it doesn't hurt just to do it and make sure your meatballs doesn't stick to the paper. So you want to get those two first steps out the way. So guys, the first thing we want to do is get our egg, and I'm just gonna lightly break that up. Not gonna totally whisk it, just lightly break that up. And then I'm going to start to break down this meat. And so if you guys mentioned in the beginning, I said that I used a pound of turkey Italian sausage. I found this at my local Publix. They always have it, and it's something that's made by Publix. It's a Publix product, and I'm always able to find it. This turkey Italian meat has been a lifesaver. If you're trying, especially if you're trying to cut back on beef or pork, finding pre-seasoned Italian turkey is just such a lifesaver. So I suggest going to Publix. If you don't live by a Publix and you have a hard time finding it, I will post a link down below on how to make like your own seasoning to take a ground of turkey and make turkey Italian sausage out of it. I wanted to leave that as a separate step just in case you want to use that recipe for other recipes. It's kind of like a sub recipe, so I didn't want to spend time in this video making it, but it's definitely a link I will put down for you below. So we're going to break this meat up. And first we're going to throw in our garlic powder and onion powder and just sprinkle that in there. Stir it up. Really good. Go ahead and do the breadcrumbs. I just put like half of the breadcrumbs in there and let them get in the meat really well. And then I'm going to put, of course, the brand down below. Those breadcrumbs are Italian breadcrumbs. I find that when you're doing Italian recipes at home, it just really helps if you buy Italian seasoned everything. Like any of the ingredients, if it comes in Italian form, just get it, just because it adds so much of flavor to it. Or either if you don't do that, you're going to spend a lot of your time having to be heavy-handed with a lot of your herbs. That's essentially what Italian flavoring is lots of oregano, basil, a lot of those Italian herbs, and you're going to have to be really heavy-handed with it, especially when you're not using fresh herbs and using store-bought herbs to bring out that flavor. So it just really helps you out, gives you like a little boost if you're able to buy Italian everything. And I'm going to go ahead and dump all of this cheese in here. And like I said, you could do grated or shredded Parmesan cheese. It doesn't really matter. I've used both. And so that's how I know that I'm telling you that it doesn't matter. Of course, grated is gonna be more fine and get worked in there, but this shredded will be fine as well. And then gonna pour this egg in here. The egg, of course, works as a binder to bring all of the ingredients together, keep them nice and neat so that you're able to form the meatballs when you're making the meatballs. And just keep mixing, keep stirring. Of course, by now your hand is hurting like mine, and I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of these breadcrumbs in here. Okay. Just gonna keep mixing this. And now, guys, this is where you're going to add the Emeril's Italian seasoning. Like I said, this is available on Amazon. So if you're watching this video, gathering your ingredients and thinking about making this in the next few days, please wait to get this. I haven't seen it in the stores. I actually bought it out of Walmart a few years ago, and for some reason they stopped selling it, and so now I have to order it online. But this is something good. I really do buy this like 6 bottles at a time to just have in the house. And just real quick, so you know, the ingredients are oregano, rosemary, basil, parsley, marjoram, and some other spices is what it says. But this is basically Italian seasoning in a bottle, and it just really brings out a lot of flavor. I never measure this stuff out. It doesn't have salt in it, and if it does, you can't taste it, so you can kind of never go wrong. Doing this is just even... Being heavy-handed with this is going to give you just the even more flavorful, heavy Italian vibe. And so I just sprinkle that liberally in the meatball mixture. Just going to keep stirring that. The reason why I like that Emeril Italian seasoning as opposed to other Italian seasonings is that it does... whatever those spices are, if you will, in there, I think personally that it's a mix of garlic powder, onion powder, and garlic salt, but it's not just the herb. When you're using just the herb, it's still going to come out bland. You can't depend on that because it's just going to come out with whatever meat you have plus a herb right next to it. It's not going to have any anything to kind of really bring out those flavors. So that's what I like about that one, is that you can use it by itself if you want to. It's just that I've done this recipe so much, I know to independently add some garlic powder and onion powder as well as that Italian seasoning. So guys, this is pretty mixed up. Whew. And my arm is really tired, so I'm going to grab the spoon now and just do a little bit more and start to spoon out my meatballs. And so I'm going to push these things to the side here. Grab my pre-greased tray with a parchment paper. And I'm going to take off my jewelry as well because it's about to get a little bit dirty here. We're going to use our hands to go ahead and make some sizable meatballs. And I'm using a tablespoon. And so, just going to spoon out a hearty tablespoonful like that. Dump it in your hand and just roll it. There we go. Set it there. And do that again. Sizable tablespoon amount. I think I did this one slightly smaller. And roll it. And set those about an inch or two, about 2 inches apart. I'm just going to keep on doing this. So guys, let me know in the comments how you plan to eat your meatballs. These are really good for Sunday game days. You can just serve them by themselves on the platter if you're having people over. If you got kids, of course, put them on spaghetti. If you're always dieting like me, of course, use zucchini noodles. And these meatballs have a lot of flavor where eating them on top of veggies doesn't necessarily take the fun out of having meatballs. I've ate them on noodles. I've ate them on green beans, asparagus. That's how good they are. Oh, and then my favorite way to eat them, and also the most unhealthy way, is a meatball sandwich, y'all. Which is really a hearty meal. So if you want to get like a French roll from your local grocery store bakery, like that hoagie roll or that French roll, slice that open, brush over it with some butter, put it in the oven and toast it for a little while. That'll give you a toasted bun, and you just throw these on there with the mozzarella slices and so a lot of sauce, and there you have a meatball sandwich, just as good as it is coming out of any restaurant, and it is so good. That's good to have. Or you can make mini meatball sandwiches as well. You can, if you're doing parties, you can cut the roll up into thirds and put one meatball inside of each third. If you know you're going to have men, that's a good way to have men. That didn't come out right. If you know you're going to have a lot of guys over, for example, if your significant other is having a lot of his friends over or whatever, men eat a lot and they'll eat all your food because they like to eat till they're full, and they don't really care about, you know, party portions and sample portions. So if you're going to do party portions but you want something heavier, like I said, if you know it's men and it's going to be men in the house, this is excellent. This is excellent for game night, fight night, doing miniature meatball sandwiches. And almost done here. Looks like I'm gonna have to scoop these over. I have a roll for one more. So actually I'll move them up a little bit. Okay. There we go. Last one. So this made 15 meatballs. So 1 pound of meat gave us 15 meatballs. I'm gonna wash my hands really quick, and then we're gonna throw these in the oven. All right, guys, I'm gonna head over to our oven. Open this up. It's nice and ready. Take our meatballs and put them in. As we're gonna bake those for about 15 to 20 minutes. They really don't take long at all. My oven gets hot really, really quick. Even though I have it on 400, it is a monster. So I'm gonna start checking mine around 15 minutes. I usually take them out around 17, but I start checking them around 15 to make sure that they don't burn. So anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes, keep an eye on your meatballs. So while that's going, we're gonna go ahead and start our sauce. I'm just gonna put a pan on the stove, dump this Prego in here to cook on low heat while our meatballs are cooking. Let's start warming up. I put 1 jar in here. Depending on how saucy you like your stuff, you might want to do 2 jars. If you plan on serving it with the sauce on top of a pasta, definitely do 2 jars. If you plan on serving it individually, you just want to kind of glaze the sauce on top of it, 1 should be enough. But let's just say you put 2 jars and you warm up 2 jars. If you don't use it all, it's not going to hurt. Okay, guys, so I just took the meatballs out of the oven, and here is what they look like. You hear them sizzling. Okay, and I'm just gonna do a test. Actually, I'm going to slice one open so you guys can see what it looks like on the inside. I always like to check my meats and make sure that they're done before I move on to the next page, just in case they need to cook a little bit longer. The last thing you want to do is go through an entire meal preparation and then serve it or get to the dinner table and find out that your meat is not done. I'm just gonna go ahead and slice this baby open. Okay, and And yes, you can see that it is entirely done and cooked all the way through. Looks delicious. So I'm gonna grab some tongs and I'm just going to start dropping these into the sauce like that. And when you're done, you just want to put a lid over and let them simmer for like 2 to 3 minutes, and then we're gonna check on them. So guys, 2 to 3 minutes has passed. I just poured the contents of the pan into this like little baking slash serving dish, and there you are. So you can decide that you're finished at this stage. If you just want to serve your meatballs on top of pasta or zucchini noodles or something like that. If you want to make cheesy meatballs, we can keep going. What that's going to entail is just putting a couple of slices of mozzarella over the top, and then we're going to pop it back in the oven for a few minutes and then take it out. So let me show you how I do that. So I just like to throw, I just did 1, 2, 3 slices of mozzarella, and we're gonna put this back in the oven and broil it for 2 to 3 minutes and take it right back out. So here we go. So just took that out the broiler, and there you have it, guys. Cheesy Italian meatballs. So good. So let me know what you think about this recipe in the comments below. Have fun making it. I hope your family enjoys it. See you guys next time. Bye.